Hey, Julianne. He suddenly says, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. Well, isn't that interesting? But it doesn't surprise me at all that they found fraud in Wisconsin. That's why there should be no mail in voting. You should have to go to the polls, show your ID, which voter ID passed in Wisconsin. It's now on the Supreme or on their Constitution. Right. They mail in ballot voting should be illegal. That's just my view. It should be you have to show up to vote, show your ID, unless you're in the military or overseas, stationed overseas, you should have to show up to vote. Yeah, they're looking at it. That's a good thing. And that judge that got elected, she's a whack job from hell. She gave a um how can I word this? An S offender of a child a 2 year sentence. And then when he was getting out, she allowed him to live across the street from an elementary school. Tell me that isn't a whack job. He's an S offender of children. Oh, yeah, let's put him across the street from the school. Stupid. And then in her speech, she said, I will be fair. I will be just. I will be for all Wisconsinites. You lying shit. These people drive me nuts. They sit there and lie and lie and lie. And then when they get found out, oh, well, hey, Zach, how have you been? Haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, the news gets very annoying. You know, they lie and lie to us, and they expect us to believe the lies. That's why I don't watch the mainstream news anymore. I get all my news from YouTube because I can pick and choose the channels that I know will tell the truth. I may not like what they're saying, but I know it's the truth. Yeah, I had a crisis going on last night. Yeah, they should be scared. My grandson lives with my daughter's ex in Florida, He went to the school yesterday. He's like 13 or 14. And he told his counselor, I don't want to live with my dad anymore. I want to live with my mom and my two sisters where I'll be safe. And told them something that's going on at home because they immediately pulled him out of my daughter's ex's house and called her and told her that they were putting him on an airplane in 2 days to come and live with her. So I was helping her get ready for him being here, which we're both glad that he's coming here because he has some medical issues that his dad refuses to acknowledge. And my daughter spends time with him, works with him at his level, and just, puts in that extra effort. And she's been fighting in court for custody for like 2 years. So this is a great thing. This is a very big thing, and it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. So it's not going to be a long stream today. I gotta stay by the phone in case she calls and needs some more help. She's at work right now. She's got a good job. She works at a hospital as a phlebotomist. I will be happy to be able to go visit my grandson when I go visit my granddaughters on weekends. Yeah, I'm not a fan of needles. My dog was a trooper the other day. Had to take him to the vet for an ear infection and get tested for heartworm, stuff like that, annual checkup. And he was a trooper. I don't like him. Yeah, tattoo chicks like needles. Yeah, he let them draw blood out of his leg, let him clip his nails. I told her he won't let me clip his nails. I just pick up the nail clipper and he runs and hides under the bed and he is 86 pounds, so that's no easy feat for him to shove himself under the bed. Yeah, I learned something. I did not know this, But Ray Charles was a heroin addict in his early career because he was tired all the time and his manager held him down while this other guy shot him up. That's just awful. But he did get clean. He stayed clean the rest of his life. So how have you been, Zach? Yeah, but it surprised me how it happened to Ray Charles. It wasn't him willingly doing it. His manager held him down while somebody else shot him up. That's what I was surprised at. Yeah, some of them politicians have creepy S habits, especially the Democrats. That would not surprise me. That would not surprise me at all that Lindsey Graham was on the take. And I found something out this morning. I follow this other YouTube channel that talks about regulations regarding cars. Yeah, they like them very young, and they have parties, if you know what I mean. I found out that I can write the White House, send them an email, and request to be put on the email list, so that if I have a question that I want answered, the press secretary or one of her aides will answer my question and email me back. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, that is disturbing. And you have these stupid judges. Yeah, really. TK from TK's Garage was on this morning and said that he wrote uh, the White House press staff and just asked a question, and he said they wrote him back right away, and it was a very informative answer, and said that if he had any other questions, please feel free to ask, that they would gladly answer his questions. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. That if I had a question, a political question, that I could send the press secretary's staff the question and that they would get it answered. Yeah, what the press isn't telling you about the the tariffs is that they're reciprocal. Reciprocal means if you have a tariff against us, we're putting a tariff against you. You lower your tariffs, we lower ours. That's what reciprocal means. And something that didn't surprise me, but I didn't know that we charge Japan a 2% tariff on rice. They charge us 700%. That's not fair. That is not fair at all. Yeah, I'm kind of ticked off at Speaker Johnson because Darrell Issa had a bill that was supposed to be voted on yesterday, and on Tuesday evening, Johnson closed the House for the rest of the week, that he would not be bringing up the Darrell Issa's resolution until sometime next week. Well, it was all written and ready to be submitted. It should have been voted on right then. Oh, as of this morning, Canada caved on the tariffs. The premier of Ontario, I think it was Ontario, said that we will drop all of our tariffs if you will drop yours. And I said, so let me get this straight. The guy that said that they were going to cut off electricity to the USA is now saying, no, no, we'll make ours zero if you make yours zero. You talking about Val Kilmer? Yeah, he knows how to stir the pot. And what I thought was very good was when he brought out the chart and he held up the chart and showed what these countries charge us for tariffs and now what we will charge them. We are charging them half of what they charge us. Yeah, Val Kilmer, it's very sad because he was cancer free and he died of pneumonia. He had had a long battle with throat cancer that he finally won, only to get taken down by pneumonia. I liked Val Kilmer. I thought he was a great actor. His portrayal of Doc Holliday in Tombstone is legendary. Yeah, Epstein left the news, but because all this other stuff is going on, you know, the media is standing up for their buddies that are stabbing Trump in the back. And Laura Loomer went to the White House this morning and told President Trump what she had found, how that these left-wing ideologues were hired at the NSC by Mike Waltz. And so Trump is apparently going to purge all of them. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Waltz ends up losing his job because it was Mike Waltz that hired all these left wing lunatics. And from what I heard from the backstory is that Trump is furious with Waltz for Signalgate and all of that stuff, and that Susie Wilds has told Trump he needs to fire Waltz, show some accountability. And so I've been thinking things over. Agreed, Zach. They want us to fail, but they got the wrong president is in office to allow us to fail. I've been thinking about something. I want to know what you guys think about this. Um, so, Elise Stefanik has always been very Trump loyal and always a really smart cookie and a big defender of Trump. So, don't you find it interesting that he pulled her nomination from the UN ambassadorship while the Signalgate is going on? And if he fired Mike Waltz, he could put Elise Stefanik in as head of the NSC, and he would have someone there who's loyal, who would never do what Waltz did. I was just thinking about that last night. I thought, I wonder if that's what he meant when he put in her announcement that he was rescinding her, that she would be joining the Trump administration soon. Yeah, but we won both of the uh, special elections in Florida, so they gave us two more seats. All of these left-wing nutcases, as I call them, in the mainstream media, are saying, "Oh, Trump is losing. Trump is losing." They And when the Republican won both of the special elections in Florida, which gives the House two more seats in the Republican control. Yeah, I agree he needs to keep the lead in the House. Right. But see, Elise didn't give up her seat. She was maintaining her seat until after she got her nomination, which is the proper way to do that. Right. I think he pulled her because, he knew that Waltz was going to get fired over the Signalgate stuff, and he needed someone loyal and smart he could put in there. That was just my thinking. I was thinking about it last night. Yeah, because I got to thinking about that last night when he said in his announcement that she was being rescinded that she will, something about, hopefully she will be able to join my administration soon. Oh, remember the congresswoman that grilled the president of Harvard and I think it was Columbia and one other Ivy League school, just grilled them like a steak for allowing Palestinian protesters to threaten and intimidate Jewish students. And she asked the one president point blank, what would it take for you to stand up for a Jewish student? And her answer was, well, it would depend on what the context of the situation is. Man, she went off on her like she was grilling her like a steak. Um, she's from northern New York, but she's a staunch conservative. She's Fort Drum, New York is in her district. I'll pull up her picture here on my phone. Um, and these idiots in the media are trying to say, "Oh, well, he pulled her nomination because he didn't think she could win." It's like, you friggin' idiot. Here, that's her picture, what she looks like. Did you see the picture? She's very pro-Israel. You have to hear her voice. Let me see if I can help you with that. Oh, where did it go? I'm not looking for your app, you stupid retard. These retarded people. Here we go.
And we begin this Sunday morning with the fallout from the botched signal chat that inadvertently
No,
included the editor of the.
I wasn't looking for Maria Bartiromo. These people. Beetlejuice will go supernova soon, huh? She didn't have her confirmation hearing, or did she? These idiots. New York Magazine says Elise Stefanik is proud to have her dream crushed by Trump. What the hell does that even mean? Yeah, that ain't what you were supposed to do, you stupid phone. You know, these people just keep getting stupider and stupider. USA Today says Elise Stefanik won't be ambassador. Why not? Democrats project to win her seat. That's a Republican district. No, not download another app. Yeah, he was given, see, he's just a year and a half old, and they won't do, most vets won't do the heartworm until they're a year old. And I didn't want to slough him in the car during 2 and 3 foot of snow. So I waited until spring, which the vet said was okay. Yeah, his birthday is August the 28th. He'll be 2 years old in August. And the sucker, he weighs 86 pounds. I knew he was close to 100. We got him up on the scale and it said 86 point something pounds. He's a good boy, though. Okay, so where did that go? There. Let's do this. Oh, so it's going to make me go order home and just I don't want that.
Mr. President, yesterday you asked Representative Stefanik to say President Trump says that he is withdrawing his nominee for ambassador to the United Nations. He had picked Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik for the role, but
Shut up. I'm looking for her voice. Here, this is Elise Stefanik against Caitlin Collins. This ought to be good. President Trump has, according to the Presidential Records Act, he has declassification authorities. Joe Biden does not have that.
And welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Elise Stefanik refuses
This
to
is
be
from
like
Politibrawl.
like Caitlin
Can y'all hear this?
Live on her own show on CNN.
Donald Trump hasn't cooperated. Don't you just think if he had cooperated, he could be in the same situation? This is at the behest of Joe Biden. No. First of all, there's a difference here. President Trump has, according to the Presidential Records Act, he has declassification authorities. Joe Biden does not have that when he was Vice President of the United States. Joe Biden also had classified documents when he was a sitting senator. That is not covered by the Presidential Records Act. So to say, I've read the Presidential Records Act. It also doesn't give Trump the authority to just take documents and keep them in a vault. This was a raid on Mar-a-Lago, Caitlin, versus working with Joe Biden and saying he will willfully broke the law, refusing to prosecute. But that's selective prosecution. That's my point, because Trump did not hand over the documents for more than a year. Judicial Coup De Ta from the DOJ, from Joe Biden's DOJ, ordered by Merrick Garland not to prosecute against Joe Biden, even though it specifically found that he willfully broke the law. It was and on top of that, the reason why they're not prosecuting is because they say he's mentally unfit to put in front to pursue that. That is unheard of, and it is selective prosecution, and it's why people inherently know across this country, if your last name happens to be Biden or Clinton, you get to live by a different set of rules than everyday average Americans. I think Hunter Biden would disagree with that, and I will know Hunter Biden got a sweetheart deal. Let's talk about that. He's been indicted by the corruption of the Biden. Hunter Biden was indicted, and he's got a special counsel. This was a special counsel. And then got a sweetheart.
Yeah, she don't want to talk about that. Elise is right that Hunter Biden got a sweetheart deal. She tried to say that Hunter Biden got treated like everybody else. What a bunch of BS, huh? Yeah, I don't like it when they talk over each other. Doesn't, um, right. They have to be contrarians. Even though Elise was right, Caitlin Collins was pushing back on her stupidness. Just mind blowing, isn't it? How that they think they're right all the time. Even when you point out they're wrong, they still think they're right. Well, they should. They should. Craziness. What's going on? All right, I'm going to get off of here. I will see you guys tomorrow. No, she didn't cave. Her 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 legislature caved. Her legislature told her that they were going to support what Trump was saying. See you later, Julianne and Zach. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye now.